Another thing you should know about is something called a nofollow tag. So a nofollow tag is a little snippet of code that you put on a link, which basically tells search engines, this is a link, but I don't necessarily endorse it. So a very common use of nofollow tags is blog commenting. So usually blogs, if they allow you to comment, they allow you to put your name and your website, and your name will be a link to your website. Well, with blog commenting, really anyone can go on there and post a link, so you can't necessarily endorse this person. It's just some random person on the internet that's doing a comment. So what most blogs have in place is something called a nofollow tag. So this tells Google and other search engines, again, these are all links, but I'm not necessarily endorsing these people. I don't know anything about them, but I'm allowing them to set up a link. Compare that with if you're writing a really relevant article, and in that article, you're listing the top 10 websites or the top 10 e-commerce stores, and you decide to link to Amazon. Well, in that case, Amazon is someone that you trust and endorse, so you don't need to put a nofollow tag. For most links that are going to your pages, that are going to places that you endorse and recommend, it's perfectly okay to just link to those the normal way. But if it's a website that you are not necessarily endorsing, you want to put a nofollow tag around them. So here's a couple examples. Here's a few news resources that this person's linked to, and they've included nofollow tags. Now, I have a tool, a plugin on my browser that makes nofollow tags red like this. If a normal person looked at this page, and I can show you that real fast, these links look perfectly normal. So as you can see, they're just regular links. They don't have that pinkish, reddish square around them. But on my computer, because I have the plugin, it spots nofollow tags. Here's another example of a blog, and they allow commenting, and all of these comments are nofollow tagged, which is, again, very common and something that is highly recommended you do if you have blog comments, is make sure they're nofollow. So how do we nofollow a tag? Well, let's first look at the code on just the two examples that we showed. So here is the link, and it has rel equals external nofollow and has the name. And let's look at this example. So here it's got the URL that it's going to. Target blank basically means it's opening into a new window. But then rel equals nofollow. So that is how you generally specify a nofollow link, is right here. Rel equals quote nofollow. So let's do another practical example. Let's say you're in WordPress and you want to link to Google. So you have Google and you want to make a link, which we'll just walk you through this. So google.com. So now we have a link to Google, but we want to make this nofollow, and I'll just preview this just to show what's going on. So here's a link to Google, and it's a regular link, which is perfectly fine. But let's say we don't trust or we don't necessarily know Google and we don't endorse them. So we want to make this nofollow. Well, I need to go into my text. So this is the HTML code for a link. So ahref, the URL that we're going to, and then the text of what we want to say, and then a closing tag. So if we want to make this nofollow, and I'll zoom in for you, we want to do after the URL, still, or just after the quotes, we'll do rel equals quote no follow. And that is all we need to do to make this a nofollow tag. Again, it can go before or after this, but right there, rel equals quote nofollow. So let's preview this again, our page. And you can see my software has now detected this as a nofollow link, which is what we wanted. So now this link is still linking out to Google.com, but it has a nofollow link. So when search engines go and look at this, they won't give any credit to Google for this link because it's nofollowed. So nofollows are a way to protect yourself, basically. If you have blog comments is very popular, in which you would want to link out to a resource that you don't recommend, or if you're just for some reason you want to link out to a bad example of something, like don't do this, and then you have a link to a website. Well, you would want to nofollow that tag, so Google doesn't recommend them. Another thing that's generally recommended is affiliate links. It's generally recommended to nofollow those links as well. But nofollow tags, they're just a little simple to do, just a little snippet of that code, rel equals quote nofollow, that you add to a link to tell search engines that you don't necessarily endorse the website that's being linked to.